Our greatest successes in life are often found in helping others succeed. Welcome to the Life Masters Podcast, hosted by Tanya Memme. Discover real-life stories from mentors, leaders, experts, and everyday people who devote their lives to helping others succeed. Every episode takes you on a unique journey, an emotional experience, and tells a story never to be forgotten. Tune in to Life Masters with Tanya Memme and start fast-tracking your journey to success today.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Life Masters. And again, this is my quarantine series because we're in quarantine. And I have this incredible guest on, Lawrence Zarian. I've known Lawrence for a long time because we met on the show called Home and Family on the Hallmark Channel. And we had a lot of fun on that show, didn't we?
You know, I always say this. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, number one. And number two, in life, you say hello to strangers, or you say hello to somebody and you pick up where you left off. And from the moment you and I met, it was like, hi, it's nice to see you again. And we've always maintained that joy with one another whenever we get to be together.
Yes, definitely. I love it. And every time I see you, even though I don't get to see you that often, it's like no time has passed.
I know, but that's when you can tell that we're meant to be in each other's lives. And the thing that's so interesting in that is there are people that come and go. There are people that come and stay around. There are people that come and stay around a little too long because we have work to do. Yes. And then there are times that people come and they go, but when you pick up, it's as if no time had passed. And I feel that that's the way you and I have always been.
Always
been. Genuine joy for one another.
Oh, thank you. We've had some really fun moments on that show too. And we've done some DIYs on it. If you guys don't know, Home and Family it's home and family, everything home and family. And I was a DIY expert there.
You were, and I did all the fashion on the show.
Yeah, you're the fashion expert.
I'm the fashion expert, and I still get to be there, which is nice. And we have an amazing fan base of viewers. And
yes, you do.
Love their fashion. And you know me, I celebrate women of all shapes and glorious sizes. But one of my favorite moments on the show, Tanya, was with you. My father had died, and I had all of these beautiful Hawaiian shirts because my dad loved his Hawaiian shirts, and I just emotionally couldn't get rid of them. So together we created this DIY where we took the fabric of the Hawaiian shirts. Well, it was my idea, and you executed, where you took the fabric of the Hawaiian shirts, and here's one of them. So my father's wearing the shirt that we have wrapped around the frame. And it is seriously one of my most cherished, precious moments from that show because I have two of these. And when something's made with love about somebody that you love, I mean, I see it every single morning. And whenever I see it, I think of you. And
oh, thank you. I mean, we did that together. I remember that. We had a lot of fun doing that. And it's interesting, as I get older and my father is getting older, I understand more and more how precious that is. And I'm so happy that we had to.
And as you just noticed, since we are quarantining, I lifted up my leg to adjust, just so you know, because everybody on television right now is dressing from the waist up. Oh. But I will tell you.
What do you have on? What do you have on?
I'm wearing a pair of shorts.
Well, I have on, stretch pants here. So I don't want to live in yoga outfits anymore, but I
have never done this much laundry in my life. So here's the thing. Like, I'm great at starting, like I love doing the laundry, but then it's the folding. So when I was getting dressed this morning, I dressed up and all of that stuff and dressed up, I put on a shirt. Yes. And then when it came to the bottoms, I'm like, oh, all my shorts are, shorts have to be folded and they're wrinkled. So I found as a fashion expert, it is the worst. I'm wearing denim shorts. I'm wearing distressed denim. No, it's horrible. Hold on. Okay. These are horrible.
Are those like the worst thing that you could be doing as a fashion? Like, is that a
those
fashion
are the worst.
faux pas?
It's so 1992. It's the worst thing ever.
Oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Okay, if you guys
Ferragamo on the top, fashion faux pas on the bottom.
On the bottom. I have a feeling that most people are full on fashion faux pas from head to toe. I mean, we can't get our hair colored. I have this spray in stuff I've been using. It's a spray in hair color, and I only do it for whenever I do Life Masters, because honestly, I look like 20 years older when I don't do it. It's the best thing.
You know what we're all doing? We're surviving.
We're surviving. It's not so bad.
Look, there was that amazing post on Facebook that said, you know, our grandfathers went to war, our grandfathers and our grandmothers went to war. We're being asked to stay home.
I know,
and
you're right.
There is something in that sacrifice. We are surviving in a way, and loosely said, I've got a roof over my head, I have food in the fridge. We're navigating down a road that we don't have any tools. Like, you know, when you're in a relationship and that relationship ends, we're like, oh, I know what that feels like when you have fights with friends and like we have references in our life. It's our history. We have no history to this. So there's nothing like we're bumping into walls and we're figuring out our new normal. And I've created for everyone like this space of grace. We're learning how to figure it out.
Yeah, we really are. No matter what age, no matter what income bracket.
So you dress from the waist up.
That's a part of it. I know. So if you guys don't know, Lawrence is a lifestyle expert and a fashion expert. And you've been on so many TV shows. You've been on Live with Ryan and Kelly. You've been on Kelly Clarkson. You've been on Rachael Ray. I met you on Home and Family. But the list goes on and on and on. You've done every red carpet. Every time I'll log on to social media or whatever, there's Lawrence on the red carpet. And you do stuff with your brother, too. You have a twin brother.
Identical twin brother named Gregory.
Yes. Right there. You see right there.
He is my best friend. So I was born with a built-in best friend. And I always say this, you either choose a career or a career chooses you, to not get too much into the history of it. I was trying 800 things and nothing was clicking. My twin brother and I were with the exact same modeling agency. He's a 40 regular, I'm a 42 long. And I never fit the clothing, but I didn't understand.
As a model,
I didn't fit it. And I kept thinking, well, why do they like him better than me? And I just didn't understand any of it.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Oh, I'll tell you this quickly. Greg and I were with the exact same agency. We were both with LA Models at the time. He was the king of the runway. And, you would go to these castings and you would try on the clothes.
I know. I've been to many myself back in the day. Yes.
So you know what that's like. And the reason why you get hired is because you fit the clothes.
Yeah.
I'm 42 long. In the day, it was a sample size, which was 40 regular. I never got it. I didn't understand why I didn't get it. And then years later, 15 years later, when my career was in a really good spot and all of that, my dear friend, her name's Patty Fox. She was the fashion director of the Academy Awards. Oh. And she was casting this big fashion event every year called the Oscar Press Preview. And that's when designers from all around the world would send, the designers would send their couture gowns, the tuxedos for the men. It was this huge event that would basically be the fashion event of the year before the Oscar red carpet. I went to the casting. I was booking models. I was doing all my TV shows. So I went to see all the models. And at the end of it, I said to Patty, how was it? She said, oh, nobody fit that tuxedo. And I said, well, who are you going to get? And she looked at me and she said, well, try it on. And I went, oh, no, I can't. I tried on the tuxedo. It fit me like a glove. And that show that I used to audition for 15 years prior, I never booked. I didn't fit the clothes. And that was such a life-changing moment for me because I thought, I got the job because I was the right fit. And I wish I would have learned that in my life. That was single-handedly one of my life's greatest gifts because I thought, whether it's hosting, whether it's acting, whether it's modeling, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, it might not be the right fit.
Right.
And that was such a life-changing moment for me. And I wish I could have gone back to talk to my little boy to say, hey, you know what, sweetheart? There are going to be moments in your life, it's not going to be the right fit, but something's going to come along and be the perfect fit.
That's true. So when you say that, I mean, do you think that because I know, obviously Life Masters is about helping people through their rock bottom. God knows I've hit mine. I'm that's why I'm interviewing you too. We've all had some pretty severe ups and downs, but when somebody is in that situation where they're trying for something to work and trying for something to happen and get going, and whether it's a relationship or a job or whatever, and they don't know what direction to go in, is it a matter of just being still and,
yes.
and like yes. How would you walk through, what would you say to somebody who's just trying for this thing, just like you were? They keep getting hit up against these walls. Then what? But it's their dream. It's their thing.
I would say this, it doesn't fall short on me. I was in New York and I had nothing. I moved to New York to be on a soap opera and that fell through. So I struggled in New York, and I'll never forget that time. I call those the hungry years. And, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere. As tried and true as that song is, I had nothing.
When did you go through that, Lawrence? Because I did the same thing.
26, 27, when I was 26 and 27, 26. Well, I had been in New York for so many times. I moved there when I was 22. I was there for a year.
It's hard. New York's tough when you're in your 20s.
But here's what's great about it. You have no life reference and you survive.
You survive. And also all your friends are going through it too.
Yes, but you don't have any life reference. I just got out of high school and then I went to a college for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then I went to Glendale College and then I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And I'm like, you know what?
I went to AMDA. In New York City.
I went in Pasadena when it was in Pasadena.
I know exactly which school you went. That is crazy. Okay, so Lawrence and I have known each other forever and we didn't know these things. I went through that too. I was supposed to be on a soap opera in New York City.
What was the soap? Mine was Another World.
Well, it was actually here in LA. Another World I did screen test for, and I also screened it for Days of Our Lives, like twice. Wow. And As the World Turns.
So you auditioned then that was General Hospital, which was Marvin Page.
I never auditioned. No, Mark Teschner, yes. No. I auditioned with Mark Teschner, but he never tested me. All the other soaps screen tested me, except for Mark Teschner. But I did get to the very end, and for some reason, I was never chosen. But anyways.
I know, but then let's go back to what I said. Why weren't you chosen?
Yes, you're right.
It wasn't the right fit.
Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard when you are up against those things. Like when you were there and, you really, really wanted to be a model and your brother's getting all the work and you're not. I mean, it's really hard to see other people succeeding.
I know, but here's the difference though. My dear friend Patty Fox, God rest her soul, I call her Foxy. She's in heaven. We would really dissect all of it. And as I would lament over the fact, Gregory was the golden boy on the runway. Gregory, like we're identical twins, but Gregory photographs much better than I do. It is what it is. It's just the angles and the shapes of our face. He is hands down the best commercial actor in town. I look at some of his pictures now and I'm like, I don't look like that. We're identical twins. So it's interesting, the shift in the
very
nuance.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I wasn't the right fit for that. And because of that, I had to create something else. And it never, ever, ever falls short on me. I had nothing when I was 27 years old in New York. I had nothing. I was emotionally, financially at my bottom. Now, so many years later, I've got a roof over my head. I've got a successful book. I've got a really well-established career. And my best friend, Lenora, always says to me, don't ever forget where you came from. Because I wanted to be so many things in this business. But what I wanted wasn't what the business wanted of me. Like I said to a producer.
Interesting.
So here's the point. So when I came back from New York, because Gregory and I booked a national commercial. He actually auditioned as himself on Monday. He auditioned as me on Tuesday.
This is crazy. Okay.
And we booked a national spot because they needed twins. Never together in the same moment. But we booked a national spot.
So he did both auditions, but they thought it was him and then you.
Yeah. And he's never let me forget.
Oh, how would they know?
So I come back from New York.
It's great.
I get this commercial. I'm staying with a friend. I couldn't get arrested. Remember, I was too tall. I mean, I did some modeling work and this TV show called The Home Show.
Oh,
it's a Woody Frazier show.
Oh, wow.
Show. He did a show, national show called The Home Show.
Yeah.
And they had this woman that was talking about fashion. And as she was doing her fashion segments, I thought, she's not a model. I have modeled. I did work in Italy. I did work. I said to one of my producers, hey, as you know, I've modeled and I am one of your models on the show. Since I've walked the walk, can I talk the talk and do a fashion segment for you? I pulled it out of my butt. I mean, it was such an idea. My friend Nora said to me, do some fashion. It was literally an idea that I'm like, okay, let's do it.
So how many years ago was this?
A long time ago.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that
I would say 27 happened when I'm going on my 25th year in the business. So 25
Okay,
years.
so you were in whatever, so this was about 25 years ago. You came up with this idea, and
she said, well, what's the segment? And I said, what if I show women how to dress from their man's side of the wardrobe? And she was like, what does that mean? I said, well, take your man's tie, instead of putting it around the neck, use it as a belt. Take your man's tuxedo shirt, dress shirt, and then use that as a cover up. Take his jacket, roll the sleeve, the boyfriend blazer, roll the. I've been working since. I've worked my butt off.
Amazing.
So,
that's how you started in all of this.
The business didn't want me to be an actor.
Right.
The business didn't want me to be a host. The business didn't want me to be all of these things. The business wanted me to be a fashion expert. And I've been, somebody said to me years ago, and I'm sure you've been told this, somebody said to me, you're so lucky. Hold on. That's what you call filming at home.
It's all good. I know the feeling.
Somebody said to me once, you're so lucky. And I went, no, there's been no luck to any of this. I mean, a door was opened. Nothing has been lucky about my career. I've worked my butt off.
Yes.
Work, determination, and still to this day, even at home and family, every show I go to, I pull every single thing I talk about on camera. I pull, I prep, I style. I'm up till all hours of night because you're just as good as your last job. And if your last job isn't good, you might not have another job.
Yeah, it's very, very, very true. So let's go back to that time when, what can you say to people out there right now? Right now we're dealing with the coronavirus and everything. And what would you say to people right now that are going through that, where it's total time of, reinvention? They're losing their jobs, they're losing their income. What it's like to struggle, mm-hmm. and what those struggling years were like. And you came up with this idea, which is phenomenal. So what do you say to people that are kind of really faced with what's going on?
I will say this, my favorite hat, I have two of them, live a great story. Live your story, whatever that is, because the one thing that you have that nobody else has is you.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that I have that nobody else has is me, and I happen to have a twin brother. So we've marketed that. What do you have that no one else has? And here's the luxury of where we're at. We're all on lockdown. We are all quiet and silent. I had to be quiet, and I had to ask God, what do you want from me? Because I think our life is of service. We have to be of service. Why are there those that have so much and hold on and covet?
I know.
If you've got a lot of money, gift it away. And with your hands open, just give it away. Help somebody else. That's why we're in this place. If you're at home, do your gratitude list and then think about it. Be quiet, because when we're quiet, we hear God. And God, your higher power, whatever you believe in, whatever you are feeling will come from within. If it's something you've wanted to do, if it's something you've always wanted to find out about yourself, we're all in this together. Seek, search, and find. And look what we're doing, Tanya. You're interviewing me on the computer. We have access to all of it. Instagram. That is the best thing about where we're at. Say something that means something. Be something other than, because for so long, you can tell I'm passionate about this. For so long,
great.
Everybody was, and believe me, I got wrapped up in it. I've been wrapped up in it.
I have too.
Selfie. No, but let's do a selfie. Let's do this. Look, it triggers something in your brain. Oh, like. I get it. I understand it. The world has changed. Nobody cares about filters anymore. Nobody cares about all of that. Who are you without the clothes, the hair, the makeup, the pants? I'm being cheeky, but who are you? Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest every day nail it and knock it out of the park. I love that Kelly's like, look at my roots. That we want to see who you are. We want to see, there's something so symbolic about the roots.
Yeah, I just sprayed mine this morning.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Well, so let me ask you
baked
this. So let me ask you this, because I think everybody's learning something. What are you learning about yourself in this time?
Well, I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but you know, Lawrence, for me, it's a little bit different, I think, because as you know, I had left the show Home and Family. And as much as I regretted the way I did it, and it was more about the way I did it, I don't necessarily regret leaving. It was how it happened. But with that being said, I had gone through 5 years of total hell. So that's where I did a lot of soul searching. And, I left as a single mom and I was out of work for 5 years. And I was so traumatized from what had gone on the show that I was fired from HSN and a few other shows because I was getting panic attacks every time the camera would go on. So it affected my ability to host big time. That's where I did a lot of my, this right now. I'm handling it it's much different. I'm okay with it. I've already been here. Pardon?
You're different.
I'm different. Yes, I did a lot of growing in 5 years, and that was my path. As much as just like you were saying, as much as we hate it, our head is knocking up against the wall, and maybe we don't always make the best decisions, but maybe those were the best decisions. Maybe that's how life was supposed to go for you. And
we want instant fix. I want it now. I want it now.
Yes.
I want it now.
And it doesn't happen like that.
And now as we live our lives and we get older, we're like, we look at things and we say, wait a second. If I was fitting all those sample sizes, I wouldn't be a fashion expert. If I needed to go through that too. I needed to be hungry in New York. I never called my dad once for help. I knew that if I needed to come home, I could have. But there is something about being hungry. Who are you?
Yeah, it's so true.
Who are you? What are you made of? And look, I had it better than so many others. I could have gone home to stay with my dad. I could have gone home to stay with my mom.
Me too. Yeah.
But
you chose.
I know, but think about it, Tanya. So let's do the gratitude list.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a space in your life where you're really struggling, break it down. Are you in this moment living with a roof over your head? That's one.
Yeah.
That's the most important.
Yeah.
Do you have food for the day? That's 2. Do you have clothes on? That's 3. Do you have a jar with change? Because if you have a jar with change, so many people around the world have no jar and have no change. So that's money. Do you have somebody else to call where you can stay, you can sleep, you can eat? If you have all those things for today, it's a great day, because when we live in the future, we live in fear. Who thought we'd ever be here? Ever?
I know. It's so crazy. Yeah. I often talk about planting the seeds, and what you're saying is that you're not asking to be grateful for, something huge that might not even exist. You're asking to plant the seeds of gratefulness.
And who are you? Look, Tanya, we're in a very different time. I've worked consistently off of hard work for 25 years.
Yes, yes.
That has changed. That will change. Do I feel in my heart that there will be more opportunity on the other side of this? Absolutely, because every woman wants to feel beautiful. That has been my job. I've never been high fashion. I've never been couture. As an example, the only reason I'm wearing this shirt from Ferragamo, they gifted it to me. I don't spend that money.
I get it. I know.
No, but I'm like everybody's like, it's such a beautiful shirt. I'm like, it's $1,000 shirt.
But
really?
You also worked hard to get there, and you also probably did a piece on them and talked about them publicly and got on the red carpet.
I love the fun. I love the fun, cheeky, I'm a fan of all of it. But we have so much. Who are we going to be when this is done?
Mm-hmm.
Because the end is the beginning. Everybody says, oh, I can't wait to go back to normal. We're never going to go back, but I can't wait to go to new. It's all new. We're living in history. Are you calling people to check in on people? Somebody posted the most glorious post, and this person, my friend Amir, had all this stuff on his front porch, and he said, we have so much. If you have nothing, come to my house. My other friend posted this amazing post that said, look, if you're struggling and you have no money, send me a private note. If you're struggling and you don't have money and food to feed your kids, send me a private. Like, we're in this together. What are we doing if we're in this together?
And I will say, going through really tough times together is, I don't want to say easier, but it is a whole other experience than going through it when you feel very alone and you're the only one going through it and people aren't really there for you.
With home and family, your world that was so big became one.
Yeah, it did. It was devastating.
Because you were the only one going through it, and you had to take, I know what you went through.
And I missed all of you guys so much.
Yes.
I missed it. I missed the show. I missed a lot of it. And it was really hard because I had a lot of people never talk to me again. So, that's been difficult. And I realized maybe it's because how I did it, so I look back on that and, but it's taught me a lot about, we all learn from our mistakes. We all learn from our victories. And I don't, you know what I mean? It's a mixture of, was it a mistake? Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But all I know is this is where we're at now. And
here's what I love. As you know, I'm sober. I've got 14 and a half years of sobriety, and I sing my sobriety to the rooftops. I sing it to anybody and everybody because I hit rock bottom.
So let's talk about that. What happened? How did you, people that can relate to your story?
You know what? I didn't like what I saw when I looked in the mirror. I was miserable. I was unhappy. And, it's an inside job. I had just found my little dream house. I found this little beautiful house that I love. I had a little money in the bank. I was on all these different TV shows, but that was outside.
So this was going on at a time when your career was really sort of launching. And so
straight up, just got a network show. It was straight up.
Wow.
I hated myself. My dad came to my house. I said to my dad, I need to go get some help. And he looked at me and he said, but you have a brand new house, my little nest, my brand new house. You have some money in the bank. You've worked so hard. You're on these different TV shows. And I said, Dad, that's all stuff.
What were you running from though, Lawrence, at the time? Like, how did that happen?
That's such a long, detailed story. Yeah. And believe me, when you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, that's so deep rooted. My parents did the best they could with what they were taught and what they needed to do to survive. So when we were born, like when you throw a rock into a pond and the water ripples out.
Yeah.
I believe that when we're born, all our history ripples into us. So I'm a history of my mother's side. My mother saw the ravages of World War II. She saw her mother go through some really tough times. My dad was born in a third world country. Those two people that didn't have a lot of tools, hey, let's get married and have kids.
Right.
It wasn't the right ingredients to have children. Having said that, I can only blame my parents for so long. It's my life. And the thing that I've loved about my sobriety is it's given me tools to live a different life. It's given me a way to live a life where I am happy, I am joyous, and I am free. And the point that I want to get to is because of my sobriety and a 12-step program, I have really taken account of my life. And I want to go back to what you said. You were talking about home and family. In my journey, if I feel that I've done anything where I need to make an amends, because it's two parts, I've gone back and I've cleaned up everything. Like, I still to this day will say to somebody, hey, you know what? Are you okay if we address something? If I was ever disrespectful, mean-spirited, or hurtful, Gregory and I, my twin brother and I, got into a big fight the other night. And I called him yesterday and I said, hey, I just want to apologize if you felt that you weren't heard, if I was disrespectful, if I didn't give you this space of grace.
There are people on the other end, Lawrence, that don't care about your apology. There are people, there's one person in particular that really, really, and you know, hurt when it was like, when I was at my bottom, that person came in and just plummeted it even more. And you come back and you're like, you take responsibility for your side, which I'm big with that too. I probably have a lot of that to do with my home and family situation. Maybe, I don't know. But the other person on the other end can sometimes just not want to hear it or care.
And so here, let's look at this. So let's look at that.
You feel like shit afterwards.
I know, but first of all, for anybody to say, hey, I just want to look, there are times, Tanya, there are times that I'm having a good time and my humor can be a little saucy and my humor can affect somebody. And they're offended or hurt or disappointed.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. My intention was never to hurt somebody.
No, so but that's the thing.
But so what I will do is I will go to somebody, because it happens in life.
99% of the time we have good intentions and it gets misunderstood.
So you go to somebody.
That's what happens.
I know, but I have learned to say, hey, I just want to say, I know that you and I had a little bit of an exchange. And if I did anything that made you feel unappreciated, or if I did anything that hurt your feelings, those were in no way my intentions. I am so sorry that anything I could have done made you feel less than being appreciated and loved. My apologies. And there are those that have really accepted it and said, wow.
I think most people do accept it.
I know, but if somebody doesn't accept it, it's off of me.
Well, that's true.
So then, but also we're all doing the best we can. And maybe some people
have, you're right. We're all doing the best we can.
So maybe some people have tools that we don't. And the only reason we suffer on the other side is because we expect them to treat them as we're treating like we do.
Yes.
Wait, you apologize. Wait, I apologized. Now you don't still want to be my friend? And that is okay, because that's
especially
the one.
When you really mean it. You really mean the apology.
But everybody's doing the best they can.
Yeah.
You know, we are in Hollywood's a very interesting environment, a different vibe. And there's certain people over the history that I've worked with, we just don't vibe. That is okay.
So when you come to a point where you're like, we don't vibe, and that's what it is. I mean, you're not going to go and apologize, because some people, you know, I've tried to apologize more than once. I've tried to reach out again. I've tried to connect with them, and they want, you know, and there's not many people like that in my life. Trust me, it's very few, but I'm just saying it has happened. And it's like, you're just you're just at that point, you're just like, it's
the question is, why do you keep going back?
I guess there's a part that just wants that friendship again, that connection. And also because deep down inside, I feel like I was more wrong, and maybe I wasn't more wrong, but I really want them to understand that. I
know, but they're also showing you who they are as a friend. So to me, I want, look, there's one producer that I've worked with, and we did not vibe. And now that we're in this space, this producer calls me all the time because they know I'm on my own. They know that I'm really an extrovert. And this has been tough for me. Like, I feel like my life force has been pulled out. You know me, I'm a hugger. I'm like, I love the joy. I don't have that. I have joy yes, I'm finding more joy within.
Yeah.
But to not go out in that beautiful world and
I know it's true.
Tell a woman that wore something nice because I genuinely mean it. That's a beautiful dress on you. To not have that exchange, to not have life exchange is tough.
Yeah.
And this producer that I've always had this little friction with, I cleaned up my side of the street. However they came back is a great way. And there are those that don't come back, and that is okay. So, yes, you are interviewing me, but if there's work that you think you need to do, this is the time you do the work. What are we holding on to the bullshit? It's bullshit.
I mean, I feel like I have done most of the work. I have reached out. I'm like you. I do take responsibility for my actions. I apologize when I need to. And I think I am very good with that. But I have come across...
Apologize to me when I saw you for the first time after all of that. You said something to the effect of, hey, I'm really sorry if I brought you into any of that. Or something to that. I was like, we're good. I love you. Like, it's an awareness, an acknowledgement. And I also wasn't a part of it. And if I'm not mistaken, I said to you, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I didn't know how bad it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had an idea. You knew
You know what? I had an idea
what the
way after
environment
the fact.
was.
I had an idea. You know what? I got to tell you, I was very new to the show. I was there for about a year. But
But you
also,
were on the other end of it a couple of times too. So
I was, but but I know, but here's the thing in it. I was told, oh, that's just the way he does it. So you're like,
yeah, I know. But it was just, I was in the line of fire one too many times, and I don't accept it's just the way he does it. There's but at the same time, looking back, I have it's all gone. Like my feelings towards that person.
it's nice.
I could actually see him on the sidewalk and say, "How you doing?" Now, I don't know if he'd feel the same way about me, but
And again, everybody does the best they can. And you know, when you're in a relationship, like when you're in a relationship, like I'm single, and I think about my history in dating, and there were times that I would really be into a guy, and like I would love him this much, right? Like I was in it, and he would love me this much. I'd be like, well, why doesn't he love me more? Why doesn't he love me more? And I was like, well, see, this is how much my love tank is filled. Like, this is how much I've got. If this was all he got, but that was still his height, we just didn't match. Like, we need to find people now that we resonate with. And more so than ever, it has to be this joy. I always say, what I love is my friends. Like, I love the joy. It has to be easy, effortless, free. It has to be, and now
we had a lot of joy on the show too. There was a lot of good, mostly upsides to
yes, yeah.
But you're right. But I think it's a very interesting topic because I think people really suffer from, like, for example, when you keep reaching out to somebody through text or whatever, and they don't answer, and you're really trying, and then you do like the question mark thing, right? And it just makes you feel like you're not worth it, like you're not, and then you question the friendship, and then you go down this whole thing. It's a normal human reaction to go through all of that, and I think, especially in times when you are at your rock bottom.
So here's the difference. So here's the difference in that. I'm always outgoing. This whole thing, first couple of weeks, we were all bumping into walls. Like, what does this mean? What are we doing? That was the first 2 weeks. The third and fourth week, I was not good. I was in a very dark space.
Yeah.
I was depressed. I didn't answer texts. I didn't answer emails. I didn't answer Facebook notes. People were calling me, and it's so not my norm that I finally had to call and say, look, I apologize. I'm struggling. Some people are living their life to the best of their ability. And just because you're in this place of, but I'm reaching out, how do we know what they're going through? So.
No, you're very right.
So if I'm like, there have been a couple friends, I just sent a text to some friends that I haven't heard from. And I just followed up with, I haven't heard from you. I hope you're okay, and I'm sending love. Because if that's my final exchange, I can't take it personally. We're all doing the best we can. So yes, you are reaching out to people and they're not responding back.
Well, not anymore. This was when, this was a long time ago.
You have to ask yourself, why am I reaching out to somebody that's not exchanging back? And maybe they're going through something, and I'm just going to put
I agree.
my love and do you know how many people I pray for every night? And I'm like, dear God, please wrap them up with love and light and strength. Yeah. And when we're meant to come together again, we will. It's so.
I have done the same thing. It's true, and it feels good when you do that.
Well, because then if you pray, if you're struggling with somebody and you pray for them for 2 solid weeks.
Yeah.
Dear God, please wrap so-and-so up in love and light. Now, after 2 weeks, all that stuff, because if we have dis-ease, what does that create? Disease. Mm-hmm. If we have that in our bodies, it creates and it forms into other things, and we don't want that. But if we let it go, we're like, wow, why did I care? I cared because I cared about that person, and maybe they don't care about. Look, we do stuff that screws things up, and that's okay. And
I know,
but people will come back that want to be. If somebody comes back, like my twin brother and I have somebody we've known for a very long time. There is no more friendship. You can only go to that certain place so many times. Yeah. If somebody else doesn't want to give in, if I'm not worth a 5-minute conversation of, this is how I felt when this happened, please share with me how you felt, and let's find some sort of truth and understanding, and then turn the page. If they can't do that, they're not a bad person. They're not my person.
Yeah, it's very, very true because in those situations, 99.9% of the time, both people have some role to play in.
We all have a role to play in everything.
Yes. And
we have a role to play in all of it.
It's like owning up to your role, where how you play.
Where's my part?
It's not just one person went wrong and the whole friendship fell apart. There's always two sides. And that was, all of these scenarios I'm talking to you about too were mainly during the time when I was going through my rock bottom. And it's funny too, one thing I've learned is there are certain conversations you have and certain conversations you don't have when you're in your rock bottom. Like when you were in yours and you were, dealing with trying to get sober. I mean, those are rough, tough times. And you're sensitive, you're overly emotional, you misunderstand a lot of things. Even some of the stuff that I was saying to people was like, why did I just say that? Or that isn't even what happened. Or, I mean, I was literally losing my mind during those years. And I look back going, wow.
You were emotional. There was something in that window. You were emotionally dying.
I was depressed and it was bad.
I was an addict. I was struggling. And if we drink, if we use drugs, if we overeat, if we overshop, if we gamble, shovel, 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 going in.
Yep.
Shoveling and stifling. But if we get rid of this addiction, then we're open to go within and learn.
Yeah.
Oh my God, getting sober was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Tell me about that. Like, what was that like for you? What was, so I want to just learn about the whole story. So then you realized, okay. And the funny thing is it happened when your career's on the rise, your father's there for you, trying to be there for you the best that you can. And these are all things that obviously came up throughout your years, your upbringing, whatever. Finally, you're like, wow, this is me. I got everything I wanted now. And now I'm really struggling.
Because I had nothing inside. And, it's all a mask. I wanted to cover. I wanted to couch. I didn't want to be me. I hit two bottoms.
Wow.
Both times I thought my life was over. But by God's grace, I knew I needed help. I went to a facility. I call it camp. I went to a 30-day camp that taught me new tools how to live. And over the last 14 and a half years, every day I do, excuse me, over the last 14 and a half years, everything I do is to live a better life, is to live a life as a gentleman. I'm a gentleman, but I also want to be a gentleman. So I don't blame the world on how the world treats me. I look at the world now and how can I treat the world? I rarely say, excuse me, I rarely say, oh my God, my life is so bad. I've got a full life. I live with gratitude. And whenever I think I have nothing, I do the list and I have so much. We all have so much.
Yeah.
And if somebody is struggling, this is a very dark time. The best tool you have is the internet. The best tool you have. I'm struggling with this addiction. Where are there places to go? People are meeting online. You're not alone. The thing that I love the most about what we're doing, Tanya, when was the last time we saw each other? Seriously.
Well, I happen to.
Our lives are full.
At Dr. JJ's house, but before
we saw each other at Dr. JJ's. That was serendipitous. Yeah. Oh my God. But what this is doing, these Zoom meetings, FaceTiming, Skyping, it is making our world smaller. So yes, do I want to put my arms around you and feel safe because of your love for me and my love for you? Yes. But I see you. I'm looking at you. And this is creating...
And we're talking.
And this is creating an intimacy that people don't have. So if you're at home and you're struggling, you get to reach out to somebody. If you are at home and you're struggling, you will never be alone because you have this. So we always have to think about, okay, I have nothing right now, but what do I have? I'm struggling because I don't have this, I don't have that. How much do you have? And in the big picture, we have so much. So career-wise, oh my God, I was doing all of these things. I was doing all of these things. I was doing all of these things. It's the world that's in this, but you're living in your moment. So what does the world want from you? How can you make the world better now?
So what was your very first, I love asking people this too, and I love everything that you're saying, but what was your very first, you're in your rock bottom, you decided you need to get help. what was the very first thing that you did or thought or, that really just, what was that first step? Because I know taking that first step from being there, you're in despair, you can't bear to get out of bed. I mean, it's tough. I was there at one point. And what was your very first step that kind of changed? What was that one thing that changed your perspective and got you out of bed and gave you that little mustard seed inside to want to go and get help?
I didn't want to die. And I remember going into the office and calling my best friend, Sherry. I've got Sherry on the West Coast, Lenore on the East Coast. I remember calling Sherry and my twin brother, Gregory, and said, I'm dying and I've been lying to you guys. I need some help. So I think the first thing you have to do is say to somebody, I need some help.
Yeah.
Because I knew intellectually what I had to do, but emotionally I just didn't know how to do it. So I think that has to be, the first step. And that to me takes so much courage because you feel as if you have two choices to make. I can struggle, and when we struggle and don't seek help, like our light gets dim, or you can say, I need help. And then in that moment, somebody grabbed my hand and held my hand. And in that, they came here, they took care of me, and that was one day. And then there was another day, and that was on a Monday when I said, I've been lying to you, and my addictions have taken control. And then by that Friday, I was in camp. So I think I love social interaction, but where people are right now is you have this safety net of being online. You have this safety net. You don't have to see somebody. You can do it with a black. So you're not alone. And no matter what it is, do you know how nice it is when somebody calls me and says, I need your help? Because for so long, I didn't think anybody saw me. So it's so deep rooted. And so, that's why I talk about my sobriety, because I didn't feel like I had anybody. And I have an identical twin brother. I was home on my own in the dark. So I felt like I was so alone. I have people now that see me and love me. It's not the layers that they love me.
Yeah.
So you never, ever, ever have to struggle. And the thing that I've learned for so long is so many people would look at me, but they never saw me. Now I'm like, look, I'm an open book.
I know, that's how it's so true. Yeah.
You can see me. So if you're struggling, but it's not just about if you're struggling in your career. I was at dinner with my dear friend, Nora. I call her Nora Flora. And I wanted to change the world and be a reporter in late breaking news. And she said, Larry Zarian, she said to me, you always make women feel pretty. Maybe you should do fashion.
You do.
But I said, I needed help. Don't be afraid, because that weakness will change your life. That's not weak. That's strong. People think, oh, I can't ask for help. I'm good. I don't need you. Oh my God. You're showing courage and strength and vulnerability. And if the one person you reach out to isn't there, you've got a list of other people. You never have to live this life alone, ever, 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 ever.
So true. So true.
Oh, wow. That was fun.
I know, but do you know how many people you're helping?
Always with these things. Always.
But if you don't have those on?
I know. You know what? It's so funny. Of course, in quarantine, life changes, and the speakers on my computer. So I couldn't hear you. So.
Well, it's okay, because I could hear everything that you said, so that's the main thing. But you're helping so many people, though, Lawrence, by being vulnerable, and there's that. I'm an open book too, and it's really given me a lot of strength. And I'm an open book about mostly everything. it's hard. It's hard to be, especially with us, like we're on TV, we're always, and the generation we've been brought up in is to be perfect and to look perfect and to speak perfect and to sit perfect and to, you know what I mean? You can't get a job unless you sit straight, as a woman with your legs crossed in the interview and have specific words to say. And so it's like dismantling that and really being vulnerable and being human, especially, and going through these rock bottoms is what changes us for the better. And it's what makes us stronger.
Because then we cross, and I said to somebody a couple of years ago, I'm building my lifeboat. Yeah. And I'm choosing people that are going to be in my lifeboat.
Yeah.
And, you either want to be it or you don't. And if you don't, I will always think of our moments together fondly with such love. You are one of my favorite people. I love you. And if it's not meant to be, that has to be okay. Because if we hold on to something too tight, it's never worth having. Why are we holding on to a relationship that's not working? Why am I holding on to a show that's not right? Why do I want to be your friend if you don't want to be my... If we're holding on too tight, it's not worth having. Because if we're holding on over here, look at how beautiful. Oh, I never looked the other way. One of the best things I loved about my boyfriend, the right person, an amazing man, not my man. But the gift that he brought into my life was, instead of going, because I would always walk out of my house and go to the right, he pulled me to the left and I saw a whole new world, and that was why he came into my life. Great guy, not my guy. But in looking at the world, I went hiking, camping. Sebastian and I went skydiving. Like, I did all these things. That's why he came into my life. He came into my life because I was like, oh, I know how to love. I'm great at that.
You are.
So that's why that was that moment. That's this moment. I also went to camp to heal inside. I'm a big fan of therapy. I'm still in therapy. An hour to go within, to look, to adjust, to maneuver, there's no reason I put my shit on somebody else from my past.
Yeah.
It's my shit. Why would you ever have to be a part of my stuff? I will share my life, but you never have to do my work. It's my work. Go to therapy, do your job. Like, if I could say anything to anybody right now, like my life master tips, be quiet, be still, because we have the time now.
Mm.
What does the world want from you? And what do you get to give the world? If you're struggling in anything, food, alcohol, drugs, shopping, whatever that is, if that's where you're struggling, Google it. You're never alone. If there's something that you need,
you're right.
You're never alone. We have Facebook, we have Instagram. You're never alone. If somebody is struggling with their addiction right now, find me on Instagram at Lawrence Zarian. Tell me you're struggling, and I'll help you I'll help you go someplace so you feel that you're heard and you're accepted. I will do all, you have to do your work, but there's so many communities from around the world, no matter what it is. You never have to be alone. Everybody's afraid of leaving their house. Oh, I can't. I get that. We don't have to leave our house. We're told to stay in our house. This is the best time to find out who you are. If your career as an actor was taking off and you're on every TV show and everything stopped.
That's kind of what happened to me.
I know, but then who are you going to who are you going to be when all this is done? But it didn't stop because
it still goes or it doesn't.
Because what I know, but what are we doing?
Yeah.
You're taking this.
Yeah.
Like we have this opportunity to do amazing things. What is your who are you?
Life Masters came out of when I was going through my rock bottom. And it's really, I feel like I'm giving back. I'm being of service. I do this for free. I do it because it's a passion. And I love interviewing people more than anything. I love life stories. I love learning about people. Celebrities, not celebrities, doesn't matter to me. And it's true. You're so right, Lawrence. Amazing.
We have so much.
Yeah.
We have. So it's funny. I was driving to see Gregory and John, my brother's fiance, and pulled off the freeway, and I saw a homeless guy standing there holding up a sign. He had nothing. And I thought, my first thought was, I have so much. It's my first thought. I'm in a car. And then I thought, we're on lockdown. He's not going to make any money because he has no mask. I always say to people, look around. What do you have? And so I pulled over and I had a mask and I had hand sanitizer and I gave him some money. This is not about me and look what I did. The point of the story is he needed help. I happen to have something. Look around in your, how much more do you need? We have so much. And if you're really at a place where you don't have that extra mask or that extra money, you have your heart. Call somebody today and say, hey, you know what? Don't bitch and complain about what you're going through. Call somebody else and say, hey, you know what? Hey, Dr. JJ, we have a friend, Dr. JJ. Hey, Dr. JJ, you know what? I was thinking about you today, and I wanted you to know that I love you. She'll say, how are you, Elsie? I love you. How are you? And I'm like, you know what? I'm good today. Tell me about you.
Oh.
So in that moment, you made someone else feel like they matter. How much did that cost? Nothing. This is the time to reach out, call, connect, do something different that makes your day different. Because I literally forgot today was Tuesday.
I do. Yeah.
But what are we doing? Make something different. Like we have so much.
But I also find too, though, when you make energy shifts like that, instead of me, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm that. And I've done the same thing. I try to live a life of service as much as I can. And every single time I do it, just like what you're saying, I don't know. It's not, I don't do it because of, but what I get in return is like incredible.
And also honor your bad days. You know, I've had bad days and I'm like, guys, I need to check out today.
Yeah.
I need to watch crap on television.
Yep.
I need to eat more food. And I'm going to be okay.
What's your crap on television, Lawrence?
Oh, Netflix.
And we don't mean that in a bad way. We mean that actually.
Ozark, like I love, well, first of all, yes, crap. You know, I'm a huge fan of binge watching television. So
yeah. So what shows are you watching under quarantine?
Love. And yes, you're right. It's not crap. It's
no. But it's like we don't have to think. It's
like popcorn. Yes.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Ozark. Loved Boardwalk Empire. Loved. I just started watching RuPaul's Drag Race, season 12.
It's great.
I'm obsessed with it. And I'm reading a brand new book called On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous. It is such a good book.
Wow, I love that.
You know, I love when people say I'm learning Spanish. If you want to learn another language, do it. This is not one person is going to say to you, I was really struggling with this lockdown today. Really get over it. We're all in it.
Yeah, no, it's true. And some people are struggling more than others. They're dealing with deaths in the family. And those are the people that I really, 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 really.
So that's when you get to, and the other thing is so many people say, well, what can I do?
Yeah. No, it's very true.
Put on your gloves.
Yeah.
Put on a mask. Social distance. Mm-hmm. Wipe your hands. Take care of yourself. Because if you are asymptomatic and don't know that, you will save somebody else's life.
Yes.
So how much power do we have? All of it. We have all the power now that we've ever had. We have more power now than we ever have. We have power to be kind. We have power to be polite. We have power to heal that child within. So when we are on the other side of this, we're just a better extension of ourselves because we are learning how to survive in a different way.
Yeah, very true. I love it.
Live a great story. And they're also on Instagram. I found this hat in San Diego.
So I can't really see. So what is it? It says live a great story.
Great story.
And where can we learn more about that?
You can just go to Live. They have their own Instagram page, Live a Great Story.
Okay. And then where can we learn more about you?
Oh, well. Best thing I've ever done.
I love it.
Lawrence Zarian's 10 Commandments to a
Hold that up one more time. I want you to hold it up a little longer. Look at that. Okay, now a little closer. Yes. Do you see that, you guys? So can we get it on Amazon?
You can. Best thing I've ever done.
Book. When did that come out, Lawrence?
Out 4 years ago.
That's incredible.
Best thing. It's the best thing I've ever done. And
I love it.
And you're not with the label you wear. You are who you are. You know, it's so funny. So many women would always say, the best review I ever got was from a younger girl who said, I hated myself until I read your book. And now I like myself just a little better. And I was like, wow. Then I wrote that book for that one girl. You know, a lot of people want to go out and shopping. Tell me, you know, some people said, you know, he doesn't get to fashion until chapter 4. Well, a lot of people put on clothing to cover up, to shroud themselves.
You're so much more than just
no, but find out who you are. Find out who you are. Find out who you are. Find out what your size is. Find out who you are and why you are the way you are. And then once you know all of that, when you go out and buy something, you're not buying it because it's on trend.
Yeah.
You're buying it because it makes you feel better.
Okay, I'm going to have to...
I love you.
I love you too. So what kind of person, like if you're this person or that person, go get my book because it'll help a lot. Like who are you speaking to for your book?
Every woman that wants to find out more about herself, find out who you are, and then go seek, find, and style. You know, commandment number 1, look in the mirror and love what you see. You know, that like chapter 9 is thou shalt live as if every day is a special occasion. Like my grandmother used to always have those soaps in the bathroom wrapped up in plastic. And I'm like, Grandma, why can't I use that? And she said, it's for guests. And I'm like, but I'm in your house. Why do you only wear your Sunday suit on Sunday? And if we're noticing more than ever, life is precious. Wear something, do something every day that makes you feel. And I will tell you this, you know, as you know, we are all going through it. I woke up a little off this morning. I woke up a little like wah wah. This made me feel special. So you did something that made me feel special. Not everybody's going to be interviewed, but you get to also do this with a friend. Call somebody that means something and we have so much power to do things.
Yeah, we really, really do. And a lot of it is because we're in this with each other. We're not going through a rock bottom, if that's how you feel right now, by yourself. And I can tell you from firsthand, so can you, going through it by yourself is a whole other experience. We have people now that can relate to what we're going through. We're all going through this together. And so, I mean, it's a big difference, you know.
It's a big difference. And we're also realizing we're not alone.
We're not alone. We are not. So reach out. Another thing is like join groups. I'm a part of a women's group called International Association of Women. And it's one of the best things. I did that when I was really down and out. I thought I want to reach out to new people, new groups. And it's amazing how when you do that, you expand your network, you expand the people that you're in communication with, and you can reach out for help because there are so many people out there willing to help. They just don't know that you need it. You know,
it takes a lot of courage to reach out.
It does.
There are people on the other side that want to help.
There are. Yeah. Well, thank you, Lawrence. This was amazing. I'm going to try and get this up in the next couple of days because it's so perfect for what everyone's going through right now. And
do you run the whole thing as is, or do you edit?
No, I run it.
So the whole.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. We're being real. I feel bad that I even put the spray in my hair to cover my roots.
Jeez. I almost shaved this morning, but this is pure.
But it still looks so neat and perfect. And, you know, look.
I'm going through a 70s porn vibe. I will tell you that because I've got the hair growing out there and it's sort of like, it's
perfect.
My hair's gotten big.
I love it.
And so is my belly and my butt.
Well, hey, now we're even more relatable. Everybody, I love all this stuff. Everyone's gaining weight during this time we're eating.
I love you so much.
Oh, I love you too, Lawrence.
And my history with you has always been pure and lovely and kind. And everybody has their own relationship. You know, everybody deals with moments with the tools that they have. And I feel why listen to where somebody was at. You know, it's two people in a relationship. This is how I felt. This is how I felt. This is what happened to me. I feel, I need. And then you share this like, oh, I wasn't aware of that. People like, I can't believe you didn't feel this way. Because I want you to be what I need for you. I want you to be what I need you to be in that moment to make me feel better. That's so narcissistic. I had this feeling. I had that feeling. My intention was this. I'm sorry this made you feel that, and I would like to move forward. Hear the response, and then you guys get to decide, do we want to navigate this road together or not? And that is okay.
Either way, it's okay. Even if they never reach out to you again, they don't even give you a thanks for the thing. But no, like if they give you nothing in return, it's like you said, you're just not resonating. You're on a different
That's
path.
one person, but look at how much we have. We have so much.
How much?
We have so much.
Yeah.
And my love for you is so pure. Like, I love you. You've only been lovely, kind, and sweet and genuine to me. And I will only hold that space for you.
And I do the same for you, always.
I can't wait till we hug when all this is done.
I know. We'll do a big hug. Can we finally get together and like, go for a cup of coffee, tea, whatever, soda, I don't know, whatever that is. Okay, I'm going to order your book too.
Will you do me a bit? It literally, it is the best thing that I've ever done. And you will find out who you are because it took me years to write this. It's the best thing I've ever done. I'll do a giveaway
too on my social media for you.
Oh, you know what? I'll send you a book as well.
Gotta sign it.
Okay. It's the best thing I've ever done. Who are you? When you, I don't know, there's 800, we could talk about it.
I know. Well, maybe I'll have to have you on the show again.
So do me a big favor then.
Mm-hmm.
Please kiss your beautiful daughter.
I will.
And say, this is from Uncle Lawrence.
I will. You got it. All right. Until next time, Lawrence, thanks so much for taking the time and sharing with us, some of your most vulnerable times. That's what Life Master is about. And
also career-wise, let me just say this, just listen.
Yeah.
Because you can be at the party and in the entertainment world or in the fashion, whatever you want to be, there's so many different places you can go. Mm-hmm. If you want to, there's some people that wanted to be an actor. Now they're celebrated set designers. You're at the party. You get to be at the party. It just might not be the place card that you wanted to sit at. So the business will tell you what it wants from you.
That's true. I've learned that.
Just be quiet and listen.
Yes.
And when we're quiet and listen, I always say we hear God.
We do. It's very true.
I love you.
Quiet though and listen for a while, not just 5 minutes. Give it time. Yeah. I love you too. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening to everybody, to Life Masters. And if you want to binge watch, you can check it out on iTunes, also on my YouTube channel if you want to see the video version. And again, thanks so much, Lawrence. You are awesome.
Did you notice I was just listening? Did you notice I was listening?
I
and
did.
if you're struggling with things, please find me on Instagram. Yes, it's fun and I do fun stuff, but please reach out to me and say, hey, I need you.
At Lawrence Zarian on Instagram. Okay, perfect. Bye, everyone.
You have just listened to another inspiring episode of Life Masters with Tanya Memme. To access the show notes for this episode or to listen to more shows, simply visit www.tanyamemme.com. Master your own life and be inspired to help others to succeed. Join us again next time here on Life Masters.